Dear Elise, our values are transparency, diversity, and inclusion. It's important to us that everyone knows what's happening in the organization and has a voice in decisions. This is really great, and we don't want to change our values, but we have this problem where managers feel like they need to invite everyone to every meeting. Now, staff are complaining that they can't get any work done because they're always in meetings, and the managers are complaining that they can't get any decisions made because they feel they need to talk to everyone before they move forward. Do you have any advice? All right. So, this email from a manager at a local software company looks nearly identical to questions I've received from government employees, manufacturing companies, and advocacy groups. You know, transparency, diversity, inclusion, they're really great values, but they must be matched with appropriate processes. You know, a person who values a clean home doesn't spend all their time cleaning. They learn efficient cleaning techniques and develop a routine that lets them get the job done with the least effort. In the same way, we need to find efficient ways to live our organizational values. Because no matter what your other values might be, one of them is surely successful achievement of your goals. And you gotta leave some time for work if you're gonna get there. So in this lecture, I'm going to show you how to keep the number of people you invite to your meetings as small as possible. We want to keep the group small because generally that makes for a more engaging and productive meeting, but also because anyone who isn't absolutely necessary should have their time respected and be free to use that as they see fit. So I started by sharing the manager's email because this desire to be inclusive. It's the most common reason people feel like they have to invite everyone. So if that's you, please know that the most transparent organizations I have ever seen do not invite everyone to every meeting. There are better ways. So let's dig in. Strategy 1, only invite relevant people. Now, I think Priya Parker put this really well in The Art of the Gathering. She said, first, you want to be very clear on your mission's purpose and desired outcome, and then invite people who serve that purpose and are helpful for achieving that outcome. So you don't want to invite anyone who's neutral to your purpose. If someone might be interested, but they aren't required to get the job done, you don't invite them. You can get them involved in other ways, and I'll share those soon. If someone might be hostile to your purpose and may actually prevent you from achieving your outcomes, well, for goodness sake, leave them off the list. Your meeting has a job to do, and you should only include people whose time should be reserved for doing that job. Now, if that's too abstract, you may want to create a responsibility assignment matrix for your meeting. Of these, I think the RACI matrix is the most common. So to use it when whittling your invite list, look at each person you're considering and put the correct letter next to their name. R for responsible or recommender. This is for those people who do the work and are going to complete the task. A for accountable or approver. These are the people who are ultimately answerable for the result. C for consulted. So people who might need to weigh in even though they're not directly working on the topic. And I for informed, which is for all of those people who need to be kept in the loop. So your meeting invite should include the R's and the A's for sure. And you may want to involve some of the C's if you're planning to tackle open questions and have lots of discussion. You rarely need the I's in the room. For all those people who may be interested but don't need to be present, you can still get them involved and stay transparent by first posting your meeting plan in advance and inviting comment. This lets people contribute if they want, and if they really have something to add, well, hey, invite them. And posting the results afterwards. This is the 6th core competency, so plenty more to come about that one. So, still open, still transparent, still inviting everyone to be involved, but not eating up everyone's time in the meeting. In larger organizations and bigger programs, the problem changes a bit. You may have dozens or even hundreds of people who are directly involved in the work who could reasonably be invited to your meeting. In those situations, consider strategy 2, representative attendance. This is where you invite one person representing a group, department, or a perspective to attend on behalf of the group. Now, representative attendance is a great way to turn what could have been a 50-person meeting into a 10-person meeting. And it comes with some really wonderful side benefits. For example, people charged with representing a whole group often take this quite seriously, and they work to make sure they really understand the group's progress and needs so they can represent those well. They do their homework, which means they're going to show up way better prepared and incentivized to speak up. Basically the opposite of what you get when you have the whole department sort of passively sitting there waiting to see if someone else is going to say anything. And teams that then rotate this responsibility, so assigning different members to represent them over time, help develop the leadership potential for all of their team members. It's a triple win. Now, if strategies 1 and 2 are still leaving you with an unwieldy invitation list, consider strategy 3, scheduled topics and scaled down timed attendance. So here's how this works. As you plan your agenda, put the topics that require everyone's participation first. Then, as that topic concludes, everyone who isn't required for the next agenda item, they leave. This continues until you reach the final agenda item with that last critical core set of people. Now, if you can figure out a way to arrange your topics to scale down like that, with people, neatly excusing themselves as the meeting progresses, that's really cool. But sometimes that doesn't work out. Often, you'll have people you only need for one part of the discussion, and you really need to talk about that topic sort of right in the middle of the meeting. In that situation, you want to create a timed agenda where every topic gets a designated start time. These are really common for city council meetings, for example, or large committees, and other kinds of long meetings that bring together groups every few months. A timed agenda will look something like this. 9 o'clock, opening remarks, 9:30, new dog park, 10:30, zoning changes, 11, summer parade route, and 11:30 adjourn. With a timed agenda like this, the lady who's going to tell us all about the summer parade route knows she needs to be ready by 11. But she doesn't have to sit and listen to all of the discussion about the dog park if she doesn't want to. Now, it's a silly, simple example. In a business setting, I see timed agendas like this used most often in budget review meetings and program portfolio oversight meetings. Personally, I'm not wild about these kinds of meetings in a corporate setting because I think it's too fractured and often too long to create good results for the leaders who have to sit through the whole dog and pony and parade route show. That said, if you really do need to run your business like an episode of Shark Tank because you can only get those important people in the room for one day, then a timed agenda is the way to go. So, how much time should you plan for each of those topics? Well, let's talk about that next.